Hello, StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another edition of Mid-Rank Madness. This is a game between Azraiil and Bob on Newkirk Precinct. In the bottom left side of the map, we have the red Protoss player. It is Azraiil representing Kyle. And in the bottom right side of the map, apparently going random, is the Terran player Bob, sporting the color blue, representing nobody. This is another edition of Mid-Rank Madness, my examination of gold, platinum, and diamond level replays. If you're interested in having a game cast by me on those levels, go ahead and send the replay to falconpaladin@gmail.com with the subject of Mid-Rank Madness. I'll send them to my screeners. You'll get some good responses on those, and the best ones will indeed be cast. Special thanks to my screener for this particular pack, and I just spaced on his name. Dang it. Darn it, what is our name here? Ah, yes! It was our good friend Tommy. Thank you so much, Tommy, for the time taken to look through all these and find the best ones, and let me decide which one I wanted to cast here. It is a Rax first out of Bob. Gateway coming up for Azraiil. Double Assimilator opening for Azraiil. By the way, that name reminds me of a character from The Witcher 3. Azraiil, I don't know, pretty close. Also, I think, is there like there's an angel character in some type of fantasy setting named Azraiil. Maybe it's even from Diablo. It's been a long time since I played Diablo 1 or 2, honestly. Is there much of a story in Diablo 3? I don't think people ever really talk about the story in Diablo 3. It just seems like more go through different seasons, get different gear, and go back that way. I don't know anything about the story, honestly, except from the opening cinematic. We do have a 1-Rax expand out of Bob, so he's doing a more standard approach here. He is getting Marines instead of Reapers, which makes a lot of sense in PvT, because again, so hard for Reapers in this matchup right now. It's just, they just die so fast. Pretty much anything that the Protoss can do early, with the exception of the Zealots. Cybercore on the way, fully saturating both his assimilators, is Azraiil. He has some plans. He has some plans in here, man. I don't know what they are, but he definitely has plans. A gasless opening from Bob. Oh! If I had seen that, I would have known for sure it's not going to be a Reaper. No refineries here from Bob. He is planning on early defense with Marines and this bunker, and that is approximately it. He is walling off his main in case any Adepts get sneaky here. An Adept could wreak some havoc on his natural. There's one Marine, there was soon to be two. I just don't see the number of Marines required to hold off an early Adept. There is one on the way from Azraiil. This SCV is chasing this probe around. He's been chasing him since back in his base. And here we're on the natural of Azrail's right now. That's kind of funny. But he does get a scout off. He does notice there's no expansion nexus. He might check to see if there's an expansion north of that natural base, but no. No, none of that happening here either. They're just going to go ring around the rosy for a while now. Another gateway up for Azraiil. He does have a Twilight Council, doing absolutely nothing with it. Oh no, he is getting a Dark Shrine. Where is it? Oh, down here in the very bottom. Very bottom of his main is the Dark Shrine. I think it's out of scan range if the Terran player decides to scan this main nexus. So pretty sneaky. I mean, not too far away, so it's like impossible to defend if it gets seen, but nevertheless, pretty sneaky on that placement. Double refinery here from Bob in his main base, and no gas at the natural. He is going for a factory right about now. He just doesn't have much. He has 4 Marines and a bunker. End of discussion. He's making a reactor off of this barracks. He's getting a factory, and more gateways here for Azraiil. So this feels Blink Stalkery to me, but again, the fact that there are Dark Templar, maybe like an Archon Rush, maybe an Archon Rush, DT Rush, something along those lines. It's just so hard to do that against Terran because they have scans. If they're smart and they see what you're doing, they'll just toss up some missile turrets and then you're in a ton of trouble. But I don't know. There's the expansion for Azraiil coming up at his natural base. It's a little bit late because he really teched hard to this DT stuff, but he is expanding behind it, so this isn't necessarily cheese. I mean, having this many gateways and an expansion at the 3.5 minute mark, 4 minute mark that is not the sign of a cheeser. No forward pylons for Azraiil, so I don't think he's planning on being super assertive with this. It just seems more like a defensive DT play, which does not make a lot of sense to me. Warp gate research is done. We're going to upgrade these gateways into warp gates. And then let's see what that production tab shows us. It is Hellions here for Bob, and it is going to be DTs. Where are they warping in? Right at the front door. They're moving out. They are moving out. 4 DTs heading out, not changing the Archons whatsoever, hoping that Bob is using his energy on his orbital commands well enough. There's not enough energy left over for a scan. This main base does have enough energy right now, which is the requisite 50. Hellions here, not great against DTs, but faster than DTs, and so can kind of kite them forever if the control is good here from Bob. Again, this is Mid-Rank Madness. So what the? Where's this nuclear missile? Ghost Academy came up when I wasn't paying attention. What is this 4-minute Ghost Academy with nukes? Out of Bob and expanding again. Here come the DTs though. Oh, there's the scan. The scan trying to murder these DTs before they can get inside the main base. DTs a little bit undecided, and are they all going to die? Holy smokes, that was the most effective scan of all time. One scan is responsible for the deaths of 4 Dark Templar. Bob paying attention there, man. Throwing up a missile turret. That early attack by the Protoss player was just terrible. Not the greatest thing in the entire world at all. Adepts in production, now getting a robotics facility, not continuing with his Dark Templar move, which makes sense considering how terribly it failed there. I mean, resources lost is 1,000 for the Protoss and 50 total for the Terran. Just, yeah. Early game gambit did not pay off there for Azrail. Meanwhile, we do have a Ghost moving out with some Hellions and 2 more Hellions. So 6 total Hellions and a Ghost heading out here. This Ghost does have the ability to call down a nuke. This Ghost does not have Cloak, so I think the Hellions are here to protect him on his mission. Another Ghost coming down as well. All right, so 2 Ghosts and some Hellions. This is an interesting build out of Bob. I'm actually kind of interested to see where this leads from this point. He is walling off his front at the natural base with supply depots mostly and a bunker holding one of those corners as well. It is 30 to 40 harvesters. Bob macroing pretty well at the same time. Single adept for Azrail moving out. And throwing down a third base now is Bob, just to the left and downish of his natural. So the Adept will scout this very nicely, like see the timing perfectly. Lands, Adept wanders by, says, what up, are there any workers here for me to kill? No, I'm going to try to kill this building by myself. How does that sound? Using the Psionic Transferring Shade to try to do some damage here. Taking a lot of damage, and oh man, Hellions doing that extra damage versus Adepts really paying off there. Whew. Adepts are light. And they, in fact, do take that extra damage from the Hellions, which is, what, a 6 plus 6 damage increase for Hellions versus other units. So not a bad opening, I would say, against an Adept DT-type player. Cannon at the front for Azrail, fully saturating both assimilators at his natural base as well. He is making Disruptors. So he's got a Robotics Bay. He's making Disruptors right now. So Disruptor against this very, I want to say, low HP composition. Hellions have 90 hit points. Ghosts have 100. A single Disruptor shot will wipe this entire group out if it's placed properly, and Bob's micro is bad. So not a bad idea here from Azrail, going for this Disruptor. Getting a couple big hits could really turn the tide in one of these battles that are upcoming right now. But third base is up and happy for Bob. He's got a bunker coming up. He's got a missile turret at the same time, taking both his refineries at his third base very early. Here, I don't see any additional Ghost Academies. I see the one. No sign of Cloak upgrades either. And just Hellion production. Hellion, Marine, Ghost, Hellion. Starport finally on the way for Bob. First one of those, and making a second one to complement it here inside the main base at the same time. So the problem is, Azrail's playing a little bit scared, which I know that feeling, man. I know what it is to feel like, okay, my opponent I know has a big army. They can come and wipe me out. Unless I play very defensively, get cannons up, make a big army, sit back, and then you realize they're not attacking, and that's even a worse feeling, because that means they're macroing up, which means you're down 59 to 42 harvesters. Oh, Bob, you're doing very well here. The only hope for Azrail is he's taking a third base, excellent decision-making, and this Disruptor right here. Purification Nova has a pretty big radius, especially again against small units that are clumped up like these guys all are. Marines, Hellions, and Ghosts, prime targets. Oh, an Observer scouting it too. Oh, Azrail sees this. He's going to send the Purification Nova down this ramp and try to wipe these dudes out. Okay. All right. Here we go. Here we go, Disruptor. You got this thing? Ready? Set. Purification Nova comes down. And Hellbat transformation. Oh! 10 kills? 10 kills on that Disruptor. What an amazing hit. Oh, amazing hit. Brings it back up. And at this point, we're looking at 1,125 resources lost for the Protoss and 1,150 lost for the Terran. So that was it. With one shot, Protoss takes the lead, or the whatever it is. It's like golf, right? Where the lower number is actually better. Takes the lead in resources lost, being out efficient for his Terran friend. Oh, another Nova comes in, taking out some SCVs and mules there. 14 kills now. Well, actually, that is the same Disruptor coming up the ramp. I don't know about this, Bob. Another Nova is just about ready here to go off of this one. Purification Nova rolling in, and pow! So many dead things here. There are Hellbats, there are Stalkers, and Adepts. It's a weird battle. I don't know who's going to win this thing, but it looks like the Protoss player did pull it out. And this third base is in trouble for Bob right now. I'd go down this ramp. If I'm Azrail, you won that pretty handily. You got to wipe out this third base if you have any hope whatsoever of winning this game. Sending Novas in, which is kind of the passive approach. Does catch a couple SCVs, but good pull by Bob, not losing most of them. Cloak personal cloaking on the way for Bob, making these ghosts a little bit more effective. More ghosts in production, Liberators and Hellions on the way. So it's like a weird mechy ghost type build out of Bob. He seems like he's experimenting here a little bit, but at the same time, I mean, I like it. I kind of like it. Again, it's very susceptible to Disruptor hits, which is bad. But here we go, Bob coming up with a bunch of Hellions and some ghosts and blue flame Hellions, no less. And then popping back down. Bob doesn't like what he sees. He sees a number of Stalkers and Adepts with 3 Disruptors at the top of this ramp. This Observer placement is beautiful for Azrail. Just amazing. Another Nova comes in. Oh, it explodes a little prematurely. Doesn't catch a single SCV in that mineral line. Harassing the second refinery that Bob is not actually using to mine from at all right now. Fusion Core on the way for Bob. If there are ghosts and battle cruisers in the game, there's the Cloak Ghost, and they get EMPs off. No, because the Observer could see them. Oh, but they see the Observer now, and they kill the Observer. Excellent job by Bob. Great decision-making. But Nova comes down. Oh, murders 4 of the ghosts. Oh, no. Another Nova attacking. The final ghost is now dead. Is that it? No, there are still 2. There are still 2 for Bob. But, man, these Disruptors have been insanely, insanely good. 6 kills, 2 kills. Where's my other one? 20 kills on the Disruptors. A ton of Hellbats with +1 vehicle attack for Bob. +1 armor for these ground units is done for Azrail, which makes sense. I mean, Disruptors don't benefit from attack upgrades, so armor upgrades are going to be a good thing to do. Third base happily running for Azrail, spending his money pretty well. He's sitting at 1,000 and 1,000 each on minerals and gas. About the same story for Bob, but not getting much higher than that. And Azrail just did warp in a ton of Stalkers to spend that money, so excellent job by the Protoss player, being very patient. Just sitting up here, trying to lock down this third base with pure Disruptor. Ready for this? Nova. Nope, just 1. All right, catching some SCVs there. A lot of dead SCVs. 10 SCVs have been killed at this point. Another few joining the party. Single Hellion coming up, trying to kill these Disruptors by himself. Just gets murdered by Stalkers instead. Now, here's the thing. Are we just going to fight over this little patch of ground forever? Is this like Battle of Gettysburg, where 2 giant armies just kind of slugged it out over several days over like one patch of field that used to grow corn in it? I don't know if it's actually like a farmer's field or what, but yeah, Battle of Gettysburg, not good times. Fourth base now landing for Bob, just north of his natural, so he's expanding behind this, and he's keeping his third base. That's what I'm impressed by. It is still 71 to 58 Harvesters, despite the fact that Bob has lost workers. He's up like 12, 13 on his opponent right now. Another Nova comes in, just pretty good hit on the SCVs. Another Hellion. Why do these Hellions keep poking up to see what's going on? I mean, they're not doing any damage to the Disruptors as they are not light. It just seems like a weird choice what Bob is trying to do. SCVs are not working here at this third base. Go back to work, Bob's SCVs. I understand you're in fear of your life, and you should be, because check it out, more Novas. Oh, that was the biggest one. That was the biggest one of the day. That's 18 dead SCVs, 23 dead SCVs total in this game, and he's caused the orbital command to catch fire. SCVs going back to work. But all the damage done by just sheer Purification Nova has actually caused his orbital command to catch on fire. There's an SCV repairing it, so it should survive. That is a lot of Hellbats from Bob, though. He has 33 Hellbats, 2 Liberators, 4 Marines, and 6 Ghosts. Coming up the ramp, Purification Nova does explode, catching a bunch of Hellbats there. EMPs being tossed down as well. Nova's coming from the back, though. Oh, absolutely obliterating that army. Oh my gosh, Novas are so good at these lower levels, and I mean, suddenly it's 122 to 89 total supply. Azrail has a giant lead. Go take out this third base. That was his entire army, dude. That is it. Terran player is going to throw down a defensive tactical nuke, is what he's going to do. All right, so that buys him a little bit of time. He's making Ravens too, but he only has a Ghost, a Marine, 2 Hellions, a Banshee, and a nuke. That's it. This nuke is going to hit his own stuff, which is a problem. Did he cancel it? Oh, he canceled it when he saw it wasn't going to hit anything. Oh, I want to see a nuke land. I understand it was going to probably destroy this refinery, but for the sake of entertainment, come on, Bob. Come on, Bob. Observer flying on into the main base of Bob here, trying to see what it can see. Seeing a lot of barracks, a lot of production facilities, and it is 4 bases. Dude, you are being so cautious right now, Azrail. Get in there. Whack this third base. Smash it in the head with all your Stalkers. Cause it to die, or take a 4th base. You have your opponent contained right now. He really can't move out. Disruptors coming in. Azrail floating a ton of money at 141 supply. He's got 3,000 minerals, 1,300 gas. Bob spending it a lot better. And what is this? Disruptor hit, Disruptor drop and hit here in the main base of Bob. These Disruptors have pretty much done all of the damage in this game. I guess Stalkers did finish off that Hellbat group that came up the ramp previously, but coming down, being a little brave. Dude, come on, you got this thing. Why are you running? Come on, Azrail. I don't understand what is happening here. Hellbats are not good against Stalkers. They're really not. I mean, I know they're light. They don't take a ton of damage from them, but Purification Novas, any of those coming here as well? Ooh, Disruptor dies. Nova does get a couple good hits off. Another Disruptor dies. Just pushing on this is Bob. He does not care whatsoever. PDDs are down. Disruptors waltzing into the line of fire. They're getting absolutely murdered. Auto turrets thrown down as well. The Observer is here, but its Blink's count is just way too high. Taking down Ravens out of the sky here and then pulling back again. Azrail, go. Go for it, man. That is it. That is Bob's entire army. He's got 3 Banshees. He's got 4 Ravens. He has some Marines down there. A Marine down there and a Ghost down there is his entire stupid army. I mean, it's not stupid, but you get what I'm saying here. It's just not really worth worrying about. Thor is stuck inside the natural base as there's the single opening of a lowered supply depot that the Thor can't get through, so he's just kind of hanging out. Thor's not bad. Stalker's moving up north because guess what? Bob's expanding again. Despite the fact that he has substantially lost more than his opponent, he's lost 14,000 resources compared to like 4,000. For the Protoss, he's continuing to expand. He hasn't lost his 3rd base yet. He hasn't lost any bases. Our Protoss player refuses to expand and refuses to spend his money. He's long distance mining with all of his probes up here to take a 4th base just north of his natural, which is good, but he should have expanded a long time ago. Nova's just waltzing down, killing more SCVs. 27 have been killed, but it's still 61 to 58 Harvesters. Bob still has that lead. Yamato Cannon coming in for Bob. Yes. Is he making battle cruisers? No, he's making Ravens, but he could make battle cruisers. He has the upgrade for them, which is great. Stalkers do find this 5th base up north for Bob. He's going to have to force a cancel there. Come on, Bob. You have nothing to defend this. Just cancel it. I know it's a bad feeling, but just cancel it. Do you not? Are other things taking your... all right, other things must be taking his attention. That is just such an unnecessary loss, though. Bam, especially because you're so low on minerals. You have 400 total right now. And Azrail must have had a bad experience at moving into a Terran once upon a time, because he has no interest in going down that ramp right now. His Stalker group does show up at the 3rd, where most of the army for Bob is. EMP is tossed down on these Stalkers. They're greatly outnumbered, and they do get cleaned up by Hellbats. And Banshees, are there any? There are Banshees in this group as well. But there's the move into the 3rd base by Azrail. Finally, once he knows that Bob's group is out of town, he takes down that 3rd base, which is mostly mined out. I'm not sure how much Bob actually cares about this. And he wipes it out except for a single refinery, but he does want to get the refinery. So he's going to come in and at least cause it to be burning down and then blink away, run. Blink away, run. I mean, right now you want to run. This is a pretty intimidating army from Bob. He has a ton of Hellbats with +2 attack. He has just an absolute force of Ravens here. How many is that? That is 11 Ravens. Coming up the ramp is Bob. Purification Nova's on top of everything. Oh, the Hellbat group is just on fire. Hunter Seeker Missile being thrown out in the middle of all of this group, wiping out a large number of those Stalkers, but there are still a bunch remaining. Blinking forward, trying to pick off these Ravens. Again, Protoss continues to win these battles in ways I do not understand. I mean, I understand why. As Bob says, my Hellbats keep vanishing. That's because Novas are really good against Hellbats. They don't split very well. They're pretty slow. Okay, wiping out every single medevac that Bob has. Bob has 6 Ravens and 8 Hellions right now with 2 Thors, and that is it. And Azrail's pulling back. Azrail is pulling back. He is the most cautious Protoss player of all time. Oh, are you friends? I learned that from our last match. I can't tell from Disruptors or Stalkers. It's mostly going to be Disruptors, Bob. Those Purification Nova hits have hit like trucks. 15 kills, 13 kills, 30 kills. A 30-kill Disruptor is an Executor. That's usually a rank you only see assigned to Colossus here. So 4th base is finally up for Azrail at 18 minutes into the game. He should probably expand again. I feel like another base would not be amiss at this point in time. APM for these players, about 100 for the Protoss, around 80 for Bob, but spiking into the 130s for Bob as well. So sometimes just consistent APM isn't really a priority. But when push comes to shove, the players can get that APM up there. Is that a 5th base? Coming up for Azrail to the right of his 4th and expanding again. Yes, and expanding again for a 6th base up top. However, Bob's, well, I guess his 3rd base is gone, but still his 5th base here and taking a 6th base south of that really northy base, making that a planetary fortress as well. All right, Azrail, if you lose this game, I'm going to be the saddest of all sad. 24,000 resources lost for the Terran, 10,000 for the Protoss, and yet somehow Terran player continues to stay in this game. Blinking into the main base, PDTs being tossed down, and Banshees trying to finish this group off. Hunter Seeker Missile exploding. Oh, dodging the Hunter Seeker Missile. What a pro move there by azraiil. There are cloaked banshees. Observer trying to assist with that. But I think there are just enough banshees to outright win this fight right now. More stalkers coming in. +3 armor on these dudes and +1 attack is now being researched, but it's not done yet for Mr. Azraiil. All right. We have spent so much time in this spot right here. This is the spot of this game. Moving out, stalkers, and just going for it. Purification Nova is being tossed on down on these Hellbats. Exploding pieces flying, flaming wreckage into the sky. Go for it, stalkers. Move, push, fight, win. This is such a small little army for the Terran player. And there it is. No. You have it. I know the PDD is scary. I know it's scary, but you can kill it. There you go. Focusing it down. Excellent decision there. There are some banshees, but banshees are so bad against stalkers. Why do you keep running from this? That's real. Again, bad experience. He has PTSD, I think is what's going on right now. Army value is like 10,000 for the Protoss and like 5 for the Terran. 4th base gonna die for Bob. That's not good news. That is really bad news for Bob. Small group of stalkers here outside the natural trying to make sure that Bob doesn't come out, but more banshees have joined the group. That is actually 12 banshees in the sky, along with 5 ravens, like 3 hellions, actually 9 marauders. That's a pretty big group, but this army of azraiil is just laying waste to Bob's things. Purification Nova's here to assist, getting rid of the SCVs, repairing this planetary fortress on this 5th base up north for Bob. It does end up falling. All of the SCVs are dead as well. It's 58 to 34 total harvesters. We do, in fact, have ravens and banshees wipe it out. Most of this group that azraiil left behind to try to keep Bob penned in, but you left Bob alone. Bob was able to make a big army, and now he's coming after you. He's got Thors. His Thors have finally joined the party. Stalkers trying to take out all these ravens first of all, as they're kind of the big concern, but guess what? Banshees and marauders really good against mass stalker. Hellbats as well, not too shabby with their splash damage and chasing away this section of azraiil's army. The other section of azraiil's army is taking out the 6th base of Bob, so Bob losing that source of income as well. His income tab is pretty anemic right now, about 200 minerals per minute. All right, stalker group, here you go. 3 Purification Novas to take down a Hellbat and a Marauder. They got him, though. They got the Marauder, that's for sure. Terran army going for the base race. Heading out, trying to see if there's a base for the Protoss here to the right of his main. There is not one here. There is just the debris. But he could take out the 3rd. I really don't see... Azrail's really far away right now is the problem. Long-distance mining SCVs from this 6th base. And yes, Terran forces are here to take down Azrail's 3rd. And some stalkers trying to defend against this, but it's just such a small group of stalkers. The main army really needs to show up with those disruptors to make this thing happen. 3rd base under direct assault. Is Bob going to finish it off, or is he keep moving? He is going to finish it off. Coming from the backside, though, is Azraiil with his +1, +3 stalkers. Such a weird upgrade thing. Nova's coming in. 1, 2, 3. Oh, the Thor explodes. One of the Thors is dead. It's going to be closer than I thought. This is a lot of Banshee. Observer here blinking back. Purification Nova's trying to hit what they can. There's really not much on the ground for Bob here. 4 very low energy, or very low HP Marauders. A single Thor with 14 kills. He's dead as well. Now it's just Stalker versus Banshee, and that is going to be in the favor of the Stalkers about 95% of the time. Now 81 to 37 Harvesters. Banshees running for their lives. Guess what? Blink Stalkers are pretty fast as well. Purification Nova gonna come up. There's the Purification Nova. SCVs trying to attack here at the natural base of Azraiil. They actually do manage to get that that cannon with the assistance of the Banshees. Banshees are all gone now, and that's it. A good game out of Bob. A good game out of Azraiil, and Bob is victorious. Woo! I mean, yeah, most of the action happened here, but early Ghost play was interesting. Early Disruptor play as well. And as cautious as Azraiil was and how small his army was at the end, 12 Stalkers remaining and a Disruptor with Unadept is all he had left. That's it. That is it. There were just... The lesson from this game is sometimes you can just win. Sometimes you can get in there and whack your opponent. By letting Bob sit back and remacro up and letting him expand as much as he did there, he almost lost that game. Azraiil really came very close to failing in that one, but made it happen. Made it happen with his weird upgrade decisions and the Disruptors, man. Disruptors were huge. Only one remaining with 23 kills, but I feel like Disruptors were responsible for like 200 of the kills in this game. Let's look at resources lost and units lost here. 92 SCVs lost for Bob. 103 Hellbats. Again, mostly Disruptor play, I would have to say. 14 Ravens, 15 Ghosts. Azraiil lost 100 Stalkers. Otherwise, I mean, pretty straight up, right? 11 Adepts, 4 DTs, 6 disruptors. I mean, there's just not a lot of stuff lost here for the Protoss player, and it really shows down here as well. That is 40,000 resources lost for the Terran to 25 for the Protoss. Bob macroed better, but again, the disruptor hits were just everything for Protoss. All right, so that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another edition of Mid-Rank Madness. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.